Hello and welcome to Geeky Bit. Today in tech history, we're going to be talking about WinZip. WinZip was first released all the way back in 1991 and was a graphical front-end for PKZip, which was a very popular file compression tool. WinZip was first distributed by CompuServe, but later available in more places online. By 1993, WinZip used code from InfoZip, so there was no longer a need for the PKZip files. By 2006, WinZip Computing was bought by Corel Corporation, and in 2010, macOS saw WinZip 1.0. WinZip is still sold to this day as well. So here are the specs for WinZip. It runs on Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, and it currently uses zip64 and supports AES encryption with 128 and 256 keys, and supports other common compression schemes. So let's take a look at WinZip in action. Okay, we are on my Windows 98 Retro system, so we'll open up WinZip. And we'll go ahead and close this tooltip. So this right here is what WinZip looks like. It's pretty basic, it does what you need it to do. And we'll just close it, if I can click it right there. We're going to go to My Computer, and now we're going to go to a C drive. Let me just make the window a little bit bigger. Alright, and I think what I'm going to do is right click on this folder here, and you notice when we go to send to, it won't have a zip option, but we do have that right there. So we click here to add the folder. We're going to go, you know what, the maximum, so slowest. Because we do have a fast computer, you can put a password on it, but we don't want to, and so here we're done. Now, here's our zip file, and as you can see, it's about half the size of our folder, if I remember right. Well, a little more than half the size, but it's pretty close. So, that's pretty impressive for the algorithm of the time. So that's pretty much what WinZip is. With all of that out of the way, let's talk about my story with WinZip. Back in the early days of the internet, bandwidth was so small. You had to have compressed files. It was a must. And the internet and zip files were my introduction to WinZip. In early to mid 1996, my friends and I would each get part of a multi-part zip file, and then would travel to each other's house to share the portions we had gotten. Of course, the files we always downloaded were completely legal and never pirated software. Us friends continued to share our bandwidth, downloading multi-part zip files and using WinZip until mid 1997, when we all discovered WinRar, which could compress things to a much greater degree. And unlike the early days of WinZip, WinRar didn't stop working after 30 days. Even though it nagged you, you could still use it. So here are my thoughts about WinZip. It amazes me still to this day WinZip is around, and also WinRar, especially given there are several free alternatives you can get nowadays. Personally, I think 7-Zip is a great free app that does a good job of replacing paid compression software, assuming you aren't just using zip folders that's built into Windows, or the built-in Linux or Mac OS compression options. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, and if so, feel free to click that like button, and if you're not subscribed so already, feel free to do so as well. And if you'd like to get notifications of my future videos, click that bell button.